Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. All right, the League Championship Series Game 7 in the American League. We'll go over that, and then we'll do a post-mortem for the two teams that lost in the LCS and some post-mortems for other teams that lost in the division round that we didn't get to. Monday Night Football, we'll recap that game. College football, we have a couple games tonight. NBA opening night, we'll preview and pick those games. We have NHL as well. My NFL Tuesday bet. I'm going to have debut a new segment called On This Day in Memory in terms of sports, and we'll do that towards the end. News and notes and best bet. We'll start with baseball. Game 7. Toronto with a win 4-3 over the Mariners. Fantastic Game 7. Toronto goes to the World Series for the first time since 1993. George Springer, the big home run in the bottom of the 7th. Probably the ALCS MVP because it's George Springer, and he's been there and done that with the Astros. Kevin Gausman gets the win. Edward Bazardo the loss. Jeff Hoffman the save. So the one that gave up the home run was Bazardo. Brian Wu. Left two men on base. He was 2 and a third out of the bullpen. My boy, Brian Wu. And then Shane Bieber, 3 2/3, and Louis Varland, Seranthony Dominguez, Kevin Gausman out of the pen. Walked 3 guys, by the way. Chris Bassett out of the pen. And then Jeff Hoffman came and closed it out for Seattle. But yeah, great series. Great win for Toronto. It's Toronto and the Dodgers, and it all begins Friday night. We'll make the pick on the podcast on Friday. All right, Seattle. Great season. Successful season. Cal Raleigh might win the AL MVP, but he's not favored. It's Aaron Judge, but there's a chance this is an Altuve-based situation from a couple years ago, and he does win it. And we'll see if this is real or not, if he's actually this good. So that's a big question for Seattle going forward. They're going to be a contender, I think, for a while. They have deep pitching staff with Brian Wu and Luis Castillo and George Kirby and Bryce Miller. So this is a team that's, I think, here to stay in baseball long term because of their pitching. They have Julio Rodriguez and Randy Arozarena. Like, they have some good players offensively, and they found themselves a good manager who I think has got to be in the conversation for manager of the year, taking this team to the postseason and making the ALCS. But yeah, the Mariners have a lot to be proud of, as crushing as a loss that was yesterday. But who knows? They probably should have kept Wu in for Springer, but I understand the fear because it's George Springer. So we did the Yankees postmortem 2 weeks ago. The Phillies, their season's a failure. I mean, they missed Zach Wheeler for this run that they ended up losing to the Dodgers in, obviously. But they are facing a lot of turnover. Kyle Schwarber, free agent. JT Realmuto, free agent. So the window might be closing for the Phillies. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on them this offseason to keep that group together. But I mean, they probably don't beat the Dodgers with Zach Wheeler, though. I mean, that's just a hard matchup, but it is a big deal. Maybe they're the 1 seed with Zach Wheeler. That's the thing. Like, they missed him at the end of the year. It cost them the 1 seed. If they were the 1 seed, they play a weaker team, and maybe they lose to the Dodgers in the next round, or maybe they beat the Dodgers with Wheeler. But who knows? But that's a what if with the Phillies. And then the team that the Dodgers just beat, the Milwaukee Brewers. They've also had a successful season, division winner, make the NLCS. I know they got swept, so it kind of doesn't look good. They got swept. And now it's going to be interesting with this team what they do. Peralta's already in trade rumors. I feel like the small market teams that get bounced in the postseason always end up in trade rumors, like them and Tampa Bay. I've seen that with before the Royals. Not that San Diego is a small market team. I've seen that. Arizona. Like, there's always teams, especially smaller market teams. Oh, Cleveland's the king of trade rumors for good teams that get eliminated. So we're already seeing that with the Brewers. But I don't know if they're going to be the favorites in that division next year. The Cubs are there. I think the Cubs are probably the favorites in that division next year. With the pitching they have and all the young talent offensively. And Milwaukee, like I said, Peralta's already in trade rumors. That's all you need to know. And then you have the Tigers that lost. I'd say their season, you could argue, is a little bit of a failure because they same spot as last year. And they lost to the Mariners in Game 5. I know that was a classic. They could have won that game. And then you could argue, hey, maybe we beat the Blue Jays with Skubal going twice. And here, speaking of Skubal, he's already in trade rumors. Talk about, I mean, not that Detroit's a small market team. They're kind of more than that, but because they've shown a willing to spend money. But he's a free agent after next year, so that's the reason why he's in trade rumors. And God, if a team like the Mets got him, that they're probably the favorites in that division next year if they got Skubal. Like, that's the game changer he is. And then who else lost in the NL? It was and then the Cubs. We didn't even talk about the Cubs. Successful season back in the postseason, in the division round. Lost to Game 5, obviously. They're gonna be good next year, I think. I think they built a nice foundation. They have some good young players. Maybe that's a Skubal candidate, potentially. I mean, could they have a reunion with Kyle Schwarber? They could use a bat. That would be really cool if Kyle Schwarber ended up back on the Cubs for his last big money contract. But yeah, Cubs had a successful season. Like I said earlier, they should be the favorites in that division next year. And obviously, the AL East is interesting because you have the Blue Jays in the World Series, and they're probably not even be the favorites in that division next year with Garrett Cole coming back for the Yankees. So, but then again, if the Yankees lose Bellinger and Grisham and fail to replace them in a significant way, then the Blue Jays could be favorites to repeat. So that's the key there. The Yankees got to bring back at least Bellinger. But I think Grisham could be like a one-trick pony year, kind of like Cal Raleigh on the Mariners. I don't think Cal Raleigh's hitting 60 home runs again. No way. And obviously last night he broke the year record for home runs in a year. He broke Judge's record, which caught me by surprise because I would have thought Judge would have hit more home runs, a couple more homers in the playoffs that year. I guess he didn't. So we'll do World Series preview pick on Thursday's show because we have a lot more to do. Okay, next, football. We'll go over the game from yesterday, or games, I should say. I don't know, I thought there was one. The Lions beat the Bucks 24-9. Mike Evans got hurt in that game, unfortunately, and he might be lost for the season. That's a bummer. And the Seahawks beat the Texans 27-19. By the way, Lions now 5-2. Detroit's Bucks are 5-2. Seattle's 5-2. Houston's 2-4. Okay, now we will do NHL. We'll go over the games from last night and look ahead to tonight. I think tonight's a bigger window. I'm not sure. Usually Tuesdays are good. Wild over the Rangers 3-1. Flyers over the Kraken 5-2. Habs over the Sabres 4-2. Jets over the Flames 2-1. Golden Knights over the Hurricanes 4-1. Yeah, best bet came through. Jets Flames under. That was easy. All right. Good load of games tonight. 7 o'clock. Devils Maple Leafs. From Toronto. Just gonna NHL, there it is. Leafs minus 125, Devils plus 104, over under 5.5, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Devils plus 1.5 is minus 245, Leafs minus 1.5 plus 198. For this one, I am gonna go with New Jersey as a dog, plus 104. They're 4-1. I know this is a good Toronto spot, but there's a reason that line's that low. Oilers Senators. Oilers minus 130 cents plus 108, over under 5.5, overs minus 132, unders plus 108. Oilers minus 1.5 plus 186 cents plus 1.5 minus 235. I like Ottawa plus 108. This is a statement spot for them. Sharks Isles. Isles minus 225, Sharks plus 184, over under 6.5, overs minus 8, unders minus 112. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 134, Isles minus 1.5 plus 110. I'm going to go with the over. That's kind of reasonable. Canucks Penguins. Pickle minus 110 each way, over under 6.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 290, Pens minus 1.5 plus 225. I love the Canucks minus 110. Love them. Kraken Capitals. Caps minus 60, Kraken plus 210, over under 5.5, overs minus 140, unders plus 114. Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 120, Caps minus 1.5 minus 102. I'm going to lay the puck line with the Capitals. 7:30 ESPN, Panthers Bruins, the return of Brad Marchand, the Boston. Panthers minus 156, Bruins plus 130, over under 5.5, minus 10 each way. Panthers minus 1.5 plus 164, Bruins plus 1.5 minus 205. I like the under with Bravovsky in net. 8 o'clock, Kings Blues. Blues minus 134, Kings plus 112, over under 5.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 205, Blues minus 1.5 plus 180. I like the Kings as a dog here, plus 112. Ducks Preds. Preds minus 140, Ducks plus 116, over under 6.5, overs minus or plus 110, unders minus 134. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 215, Preds minus 1.5 plus 172. I'm going to do it all under Juicy Starro special. I love unders in Preds games. I love betting the unders in Rangers, Preds, and Jets games because of the good goalies. Preds in regulation's a good bet too, plus 110. But I like the all under better. Plus 120, under 5.5. Blue Jackets Stars. Stars minus 188, Jackets plus 155, over under 6.5, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 152, Stars minus 1.5 plus 124. I'm going to go over minus 106. Last but not least, 10 o'clock ESPN, Avs Mammoth. The Mammoth off to a good start this year, but they're home underdog. Avs are minus 146, Mammoth plus 122, over under 6.5, overs plus 112, unders minus 138. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 164, Mammoth plus 1.5 minus 205. I know the narrative about the Mammoth in a national televised home game against a good team and picking them. I know the narrative. I'm going Avs in regulation plus 105. I just think they're better. Okay, now move on to college football. We'll preview and pick the two games tonight, both in Conference USA. First up, Kennesaw State and FIU. 7 o'clock ESPN2. My line is FIU by 1, total 46. And it is Kennesaw 2.5, total 49.5. So a 3.5 point edge on the under, and I have a same thing on FIU, and I'm gonna take the under because I feel better about the under. 7:30 on CBS Sports Network, Western Kentucky, Louisiana Tech. My line's Tech as a 3-point dog, total 47.25. And Tech's favored by 3.5, totals 49.5. I like Western Kentucky plus 3.5 and plus 138 to win the game straight up. Okay, now we'll do soccer. We'll go over notable results from yesterday and today so far, and then look ahead to today and a little bit of tomorrow. I know there's Champions League. I know I'm not really going to give out a lot of picks for today, only because we got a late start to recording. Okay, yesterday, Brentford over West Ham 2-0 in EPL. La Liga, Valencia, Alaves 0-0 draw. Serie A, Cremonese, Udinese 1-1 draw. And then Champions League so far today, Barcelona over Olympiacos 6-1 and K-Rot and Paphos 0-0 draw. And then ELC, Sheffield United over Blackburn 3-1 and Derby County over Norwich City 1-0. Going on now, Champions League, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen, PSG, FC Copenhagen and Dortmund, Newcastle United, Benfica, PSV Eindhoven and Napoli, Union SG and Inter, and Man City Villarreal. And then going on now in ELC, Hull City, Leicester City, Ipswich, Charlton Atlantic, Millwall Stoke City, Portsmouth Coventry City, Preston, Birmingham City, Bristol City, Southampton. Tonight we have a couple of Liga MX games, 9 o'clock, America and Puebla. So America's minus 425, Puebla 9-1, the draws plus 450. I'm going to do over 3.5 goals plus 140. Necaxa, Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul minus 130, Necaxa plus 290, draw plus 280. I'm going to do under 2.5 goals plus 120. I know it's a crazy bet, but why not? 11 o'clock, Mazatlan and Santos. Mazatlan's even money, Santos plus 250, draw plus 260. I'm going to do Mazatlan at even money. And Monterrey FC Juarez. Monterrey minus 170, Juarez plus 430, draw plus 310. I'm going to do under 2.5 goals at plus 118. All right, 2 Champions League games I'm going to give out. I'm not going to give out the 3 o'clock games. I'm going to do that on tomorrow's show. 12:45, Athletic and FK Karabag. Athletic minus 90, Karabag plus 850, draws 4-1. I'm going to do over 3.5 goals at plus 156. And Galatasaray and Bodo. Galatasaray minus 175, Bodo plus 410, draw plus 360. I'm going to do under 3.5 goals at minus 115. Oh, I thought Decision Day was Saturday. There's a couple MLS games tomorrow night. That's good to know. We have a lot to do, so I'm not going to give out more soccer. Now we will do NBA opening night. 2 games. And tonight is the debut of NBC Peacock on Tuesdays. I have no idea who is announcing these games. I'm trying to yeah, so 506 Sports home. It's college. I see college football and stuff, and baseball. Oh, here we go. NBA. All right, 7:30. NBC. Rockets Thunder. Mike Tirico, Reggie Miller, and Jamal Crawford. So it looks like Mike Tirico is going to be the lead guy on NBC, which is good. My line for Rockets Thunder is Thunder by 5.5, total to 24.5. No Jalen Williams tonight for OKC. That's why I have that projection very low. And it's 6.5 and 227.5. I like the under. There's Durant first game back in OKC as a member of the Rockets. I just think there's going to be some defense, and that crowd's going to go nuts. It's ring night. I like the under. And then 10 o'clock on NBC and Peacock, it's Warriors-Lakers, Noah Eagle, and Grant Hill on the call. My line is Golden State by 4.5, total to 23.5, and it is 2.5 and 226. I'm going to give out another under. I think this is low. No LeBron for the Lakers. I do like Golden State minus the points, too. If I have to give out a single side tonight, it's Golden State minus 2.5 because of no LeBron. And I think there's going to be Warrior fans in that building, amazingly enough. But there is a Luka's the best guy on the court argument there, too. So I'm going to give out under 226 is the play. No LeBron. I know neither team plays any defense. That's why the total's that high. But again, opening night, nerves, pressure. So 2 unders for the NBA picks for tonight. All right, NFL Tuesday bet. So you know the deal. Give out a bet Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays before the Fab Five. Sometimes they overlap, sometimes they do not. There's some that I like, and before that, I'm going to tell you what my mulligan was, my biggest regret, and that is taking Geno Smith and the Raiders, getting 12.5 at Kansas City. We should have known better. The Raiders stink, and we know division game. And the other reason why I should have known ... no Brock Bowers. And I kind of forgot about that in doing my analysis. So, that's that. Although the Jaguars money line is a good mulligan as well. So I'm going to give out my first bet of the week. There's a lot I like. All right. I hate this. I'm telling you right now, I fucking hate this. I have to do it. It's the revenge spot of the year. I'm not putting this team in Survivor, but this is the best revenge bet of the year. I have to lay the 7 with the Eagles against the Giants. The Giants might be broken after that loss. That might be this year's version of the Bears losing with the Hail Mary team with the young quarterback. Granted, Jackson Dart as a rookie already better than Caleb Williams as a rookie. I mean, Brian Daboll's a better coach than Eberflus was, obviously, so that's the difference there. But I just think there's a chance this team's broken. And then they have a couple injuries on defense. No Neighbors. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. who knows? Maybe this won't be in Fab 5. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Not laying a lot with it, but I'm going to lay 7 with the Philadelphia Eagles against the Giants as my NFL Tuesday bet. All right, now a new segment on this day. I've been coming across on Instagram on this day in sports history, and it's just a fun gimmick to share. And I'm going to give props to the company, All Sports News. All right, so today, I'll look back at the headlines from October 21st. Okay, 10 years ago on this day, the Mets advanced to the World Series. That was the team with David Wright. Jacob deGrom was on that team. Noah Syndergaard. They lost in 5 to the Royals. I remember Familia blew the save in Game 5. And they lost to that Royals team with Alex Gordon. And the late Yandaro Ventura was on that team. Mike Moustakas. So, yeah, that was when they beat the Cubs. They swept the Cubs. 2017, the Astros advanced to the World Series. They beat the Yankees in Game 7. CC Sabathia was on the mound. It was Joe Girardi's last game as Yankee manager. 2013, Jim Leyland steps down as manager of the Tigers. And then they hired him with Brad Ausmus. Brad Ausmus replaced him. So that team had Verlander and Scherzer on it in their primes. Miguel Cabrera in his prime. And that team was in the World Series in 2012, and that group never made it back. 2015, the Blue Jackets hired John Tortorella as coach. So they must have gotten off to a slow start and hired Torts. I don't remember who the coach was before him. 2022, the Texas Rangers hired Bruce Bochy, who obviously led them to the 2023 World Series, and now he's no longer in a job. 2013, Sam Bradford tears his ACL with the Rams. Sam Bradford was had promise when he was a Ram, and then he bounced around a little bit. He was on the Vikings. He was on Philly. 2012, the Red Sox hired John Farrell after the Bobby Valentine disaster. John Farrell obviously led them to a World Series championship in 2013. With I think it was probably the worst baseball team to win a championship in the last 15 years, if you're being honest. Yeah, we should do that. Like, in the last since 2011, the worst teams to win a championship. That team has to be there. The 2018 Red Sox were a better team than the 2013 Red Sox. But the 2013 Sox had all these journeymen on it, and they won the championship. And they were the 1 seed that year, too. 2019, Zion Williamson out 6 to 8 weeks. He got injured. And he was a rookie at the time, and they didn't see them for a while. 2020, the Pelicans hired Stan Van Gundy. Oh, that was a disaster. He was only there for a year. Or was he there a year and a half and got fired? 2019, the Celtics extend Jaylen Brown. So they extend Jaylen Brown to his rookie extension. 2024, Brandon Ayuk out for the season. That was when he tore his ACL last year. And in 2018, the Reds hired David Bell. I don't remember who their manager was before David Bell. And then after David Bell was there for a while, and then they hired Francona. So that's a good trip down memory lane, and that is brought to you by All Sports News. Okay, news and notes for today. We have a lot to get to in news and notes. So Texas A&M got fined for faking an injury as they punish the Aggies $50,000 and reprimands head coach Mike Elko. Wisconsin announces they will not fire Luke Fickell as their athletic director announces additional investment statement in backing the coach. Hugh Freeze says that Jackson Arnold and Ashton Daniels will both get reps ahead of facing Arkansas, so they make a change at quarterback. The Oregon duo Dante Moore and DeCorian Moore team up with Nike for NIL deals. Jamison Williams had an Instagram post after his 0-catch game last night against the Bucks. Woody Johnson takes shots at Justin Fields. Of course. The dude doesn't shut his fucking mouth, Woody Johnson, but he's not wrong either. If we could just complete a pass, it would look good. Yikes. Even he's smart enough to know that. Mike McDaniel bashes his team in an embarrassing loss against the Browns, as he should. The Falcons cut Ray McLeod, 62 receptions last year. The Ravens scrap locker room games as video games, ping pong, and more taken away after Week 4 loss to the Chiefs. Yikes. Tyler Lockett got cut from the Titans as he was asked to be let go and is expected to sign with another team. I think the Giants could use him with no neighbors. They need like an adult wide receiver in the room. For Dart. Although Cam Ward and the Titans didn't use him. I think they got rid of him because of the culture there and Brian Callahan, even though Callahan's gone. But I think Lockett was just so unhappy there. Dre Greenlaw got suspended 1 game as he'll be out against the Cowboys after unsportsmanlike conduct towards a ref. Joe Flacco okayed the Bengals trade as they let him have final say before being dealt to Cincy. Drake was hyped for the Blue Jays, obviously. But ALCS MVP actually went to Vlad Guerrero Jr. instead of George Springer. And poor Cal Raleigh was tearing up in his interview after the game. Brian Windhorst reports that the Knicks had a shot at Giannis, as he said the Knicks could have landed Giannis under certain set of circumstances. Huh. That's interesting. I personally believe my take on that. I said that I don't think the Knicks should go out for Giannis. They could have won the title last year if Halliburton doesn't hit that shot in game 1. That fluky fucking shot cost Tom Thibodeau his job. You're never going to hear the end of it from me with that. That was the worst loss in Knicks playoff history, and that's why Tom Thibodeau is out of a job and Mike Brown is. But give the NBA predictions show a listen. By the way, but yeah, I was in favor of the Knicks keeping things as is, and no Tatum either. That keeps the door open for them. And I felt the same way about Cleveland. Knicks and Cleveland did the right thing this offseason by keeping those cores together and just making additions on the fringes. The Padres to interview Albert Pujols tomorrow, so that's interesting. Now the Angels, meanwhile, hire Kurt Suzuki as manager, the former catcher. Oh wait, Mike Evans is 6 to 8 weeks with the broken clavicle. So A lot of people thought he was out for the year. And then Michael Penix has a bone bruise, foot ankle injury. I wonder if that's a... I know people are speculating about McCarthy being a soft benching. Are you sure this could be the case with Michael Penix in Atlanta? And then week 8, the Vikings are going back to Carson Wentz. Kevin O'Connell says J.J. McCarthy is just not there to return against the Chargers. Adam Silver says that WNBA players to get paid more, as players will get big increase amid CBA negotiations. Jaden Daniels' injury is not significant, as his status against the Chiefs is unclear after hurting his hamstring against the Cowboys. Emeka Egbuka played against the Lions last night. Nico Collins has a concussion. John Morant expected to play against the Pelicans. Maxi Kleber out the first 2 weeks with a oblique strain. The Florida Gators, of course, are eyeing Ole Miss's Lane Kiffin to replace Billy Napier. That could just get Ole Miss's season in a spiral. Texas Tech halts tortilla throwing as the school is no longer going to encourage no permit Red Raiders tradition. Vandy avoids a $500,000 fine as SEC announces that the fans successfully executed delayed field rush after winning against LSU. Mike Elko jokes and says, 3 weeks ago I was getting fired about the Penn State thing. Dalton Connect's option got picked up for 26-27, $4.2 million. Aaron Neesmith, 2 years, $40 million extension with the trade kicker. Tar Easton to become a restricted free agent this summer. The Nuggets extend Christian Braun 5 years, $125 million. That's big. That's a big extension for him. That's banking on future projections. So is this one. 4 years, $100 million for Dyson Daniels and the Hawks. And Trae Young was hyped to see that. Karl Anthony Towns is unsure of offensive roles. He admits team is still figuring it out ahead of the season opener on Wednesday. Yikes. You don't want a star player coming out and saying something like that. That's a red flag for me. Tom Thibodeau visited Celtics practice as he gave insight into how he scouted the Celtics during the playoff series. That's interesting. That's a little bit of a petty move for Thibodeau to do that, but the Knicks are going to have a different look to them now. Charlie Baker is pushing for bigger field due to past snubs on tournament expansion. Brandon Graham officially unretiring and will return for his 16th season as he's going back to the Eagles. Brian Daboll won't change staff as he intends to keep things the same after a loss to the Broncos. I don't disagree with this. I mean, I just think some fluky things happened in that game. Dart had the bad pick and an injury to his ankle, and then 3 defensive players got hurt on the Giants. So I think a lot of things, it took a lot for Denver to come back in that game, even though I just bet against the Giants, but I don't blame Daboll for keeping things. But meanwhile, I think Mike McDaniel in Miami should have done something. Okay. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I am going to go and take Western Kentucky getting the 3 in the hook against Louisiana Tech. I just think that they should be favored in the game, and the hook matters here. So I'm going to take Western Kentucky plus the 3 and the hook against Louisiana Tech. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking ahead to everything tomorrow as well. Have a great day, everybody.